So today we're talking about Therapeutics. The stock was phenomenal today. It reached about 104%. It closed on Friday was $2.43. Today it went as high as $5.67 and it's still consolidating around the area that I've highlighted for you. We're going to talk about the technical in a second. Let's talk about why the stock was really high and what is the fundamental for the stock, right? What does the balance sheet look like? What their income statement is? If you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. I release video every day. The objective is to get you guys information. If you're looking at a stock, at least if you hear about it, at least you have some facts together, so you're not jumping in where the stock is already done for the day and it's not going to make any money anymore. So basically, that's the objective here. It's not going to be financial advice. This is just me putting the information out there for your friends and family, and hopefully whoever can see this and be, get a benefit out of this. So let's talk about this. So basically, they had a worldwide agreement with the Seagen Inc. that they will commercialize and develop their therapy, 1223 therapy, which targets the solid tumors. Now they will pay them $50 million up front, and then Seagen will benefit from the royalties, which could go up to $650 million. Good thing about the pharmaceutical stock is that they have, usually when there's a pipeline, right? So if they're working on a drug and they move a phase, for example, let's say you take this drug, Lvtx, right? If it moves to phase 2, you will see a stock surge, okay? Buyers will come in, buy the stock, and then, when they have a supply and demand, right? The stock goes up, the person who made their profit will come out, and the stock will sort of fluctuate between that for a while, and then it'll start going down again, right? So this is what I like about the pharmaceutical stocks. Whenever the change the phase, and I usually keep a tab on them, just checking the news catalyst, etc., just to see if something coming up, so we can invest on it early. As far as today's concerned, as I said, it went 104%. Generally, they only trade about 5,000 shares or so in a given day, but today there was 37 million shares were traded for the stock. That is huge for that for the company, right? So let's talk about their income statement. So anything you see here is all by thousand. So if you see 4,000, actually it's 4 million. As the total revenue, operating expenses 44 million. Operating income is about 40 million, negative 40 million, which means they're not really making any money here. Pre-tax income is about negative 35 million, which is like, again, they have pipeline and they're not really profitable right now. As far as the fundamentals is concerned, the income statement doesn't look that good. Balance sheet, the total assets they have is about 139 million. Total liability 20 million, and total stockholders' equity is about 118 million, which is good. At least the balance sheet looks decent. They don't have a lot of liabilities, and they don't have stockholders' equity negative. As far as the cash flow is concerned, operating cash flow is negative 32 million. Again, operations are not successful, which means the day-to-day operations, they're not making money. Investing cash flow is negative 36 million, which is not good. And the financing is whatever the money they've raised through their stock, bonds, warrant, things like that. It's about 361 million. As far as the end cash position is concerned, about 83 million on hand, which is a good news, right? If they do go bankrupt and you have stocks in it, at least you'll get paid. As for the institutional ownership is concerned, it's 30%. It's a decent number. It's not a very huge number, but it's a decent number that a lot of institutional banks are thinking about this, that they want to invest money in the stock. Currently, they increased their position by 6 million. A lot of them came out of the position. However, this will change as we progress because we see 37 million came on board, and most of them were from institutions. As far as the analysts from these institutions, what they think about the stock is they think the average price for the stock is about $12. The lowest it get to $6.18 is the highest. Of course, these analysts, they look at the whole spectrum, like the years and year over year and things like that. So it's a different perspective when they look at it. So right now, what I have here is I have a zone here. Again, for me, the stock actually is done for the day, in my opinion. It already made the money that it was going to make. There's a lot of red candles that came in, which is a lot of bears came in and they start selling the stock. They took the profit. Now the stock was in consolidation mode. Then it dropped suddenly a big line. When we started the video, it dropped and about 392,000 stocks were sold. Some bulls are coming in now buying the stock, but again, this is zone right here. I have $4.63 to $4.95. I think it's going to hover around this and eventually it's going to come down again. Eventually it will come down because look, at the end of the day, these with the pharmaceutical stock like this, with the pipeline, usually what happens is people come in, buy the stock, make the money, come out of the stock. And people who bought it, let's say they don't know the facts. The way the market works, the stock market is like, who's the bigger fool, right? Whoever buys after or the last guy who bought is stuck with the position, right? So now as you see the red candles start forming again, this is my zone here. Of course, as far as the RSI is concerned, is already down to 39, which means that the strength of this index is coming down, which means the stock is dropping in price. the way it started on an average. MACD's coming down on average. The stock shares about, goes in a minute, goes about 9 cents. It's coming down now. I think the stock is, again, in my opinion, is done for the day. Of course, it could still hover around $4.63, $4.74, $4.95. Of course, if it drops this level, there's no other level. There's a big gap here when the stock started trading. This gap right here, it will go down, and this gap will be filled. Maybe it'll go down in a slower pace. However, this will definitely start going down. You see right here, it was right here when it went up. There's a big gap right here where the gap has to be filled. Usually how this market works. This will come down. In my opinion, I think it's done for the day. You see making a green move again. You see how the bulls are coming in, but you also have sellers coming in as well at the same time. They're not letting that bull take over. Eventually the seller wins. And this is what happens. You see how the sellers are winning. Oh, there we go. So this is the back and forth that goes on in a minute. So this is formed now. This is undecisive right here. You have bulls and bears fought against it, but it looks like slight more orders came in to sell. This is why you see a red candle formed here. So again, this is my zone right here. I don't think it's going anywhere between, from the zone. It's going to trade in this zone. But keep an eye on it. And if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. If you're not subscribed, do consider subscribing. But definitely take a look at the stock. Keep it on your watch list.